You've seen the work we put in and day out, challenging myths, debunking old wives' tales, and exposing poor breeding practices. Ugh. We spent years researching, studying, and applying real-world experiences to perfect the art of science of breeding. Why? Because you deserve the best, most accurate information out there. But to keep this mission alive and growing, we need your support. If you found value in the Bred to Perfection live show, take a moment, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share our content. It may seem small, but every like, every subscriber, and every share helps us reach more breeders who need to hear the truth, who want to learn what it really takes to create, maintain, and improve high-quality strains. This isn't just a YouTube channel, it's a movement, and you're a vital part of it. If you believe in what we're doing, if you want to help others discover the power of true breeding, help push this channel to the top. Like, subscribe, and share. Together, we make a difference. Thank you for standing with us. Now, let's get to work. Entertaining, informative, and educational. Inspiring content that makes a difference.
This is the Maximus Troy Publications Broadcasting Network.
Join the Academy. This show is brought to you by the Breeders Academy, where we will help you to increase your knowledge of breeding, advance your skills as a breeder, and help you to improve the quality and performance of your fowl.
As a member, I'll provide you a roadmap that you will need to create a true family or strain. Starting with a cock from one breeder and a hen from another breeder, no problem. We can help you to turn your flock of hybrid crosses or mongrels into a pure family or strain, and show you how to continually improve that strain each generation. We'll start by showing you how to select your seed fowl and how to turn that seed fowl into a high-quality foundation strain. Our proven breeding programs and specialty courses are designed to take you step by step through the breeding process. And best of all, I'll be there to help you every step of the way.
We urge you to check it out. You have nothing to lose, and you can cancel at any time. You also have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Simply go to www.breedersacademy.com to sign up.
The Breeders Academy will not only change the way you think about breeding, but improve the way you breed your fowl. Okay, welcome to another episode of Bred to Perfection. I'm Kenny Troiano, founder of the Breeders' Academy, and I'm here with my wife Nancy and my co-host Frank Bradley. What Nancy?
I'm glitching a lot.
I can tell.
You're going to see me. I'm going to be like that guy who was back in what was it? MTV. Did the
No, she's actually seen her
time.
ghost. It's like I was saying earlier.
Just
She's going to start going like she's going to follow the ghost of her hand. Just kind of
Max Syndrome. Am I right?
I don't know.
Done the advertising for Coke.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah. The first digital commercial.
All I'm going to say is it was working good until Nancy turned on the hair dryer at the same time I had the air conditioner, and everything in the house went. So I wasn't even sure I was going to get back on or not. So we'll see what happens. But Max Headroom.
There it is. It's taking a while to come up.
Wow. Maybe it's there.
Now we're
Are we all
glitching?
Are we all glitching?
No.
It's just Nancy?
Just Nancy.
No, you two are on my screen. You two are kaput, just staying still.
That's odd. Same internet.
Nancy, just smile and stand there, okay?
Okay,
maybe she'll snap out of it. Maybe it's Nancy. Maybe it's not the internet.
Hey,
maybe that's just how Nancy is.
She could do some good breakdancing moves right now.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, wow.
Lord.
Okay. One of the things Nancy wanted me to do before. Yeah. Boy, she's going to be tough if she's delayed the whole time.
Miss Roboto.
She's going to be talking over us the whole time. You may have to come in here. You may have to come in here, Nancy.
Only if it's air conditioned.
I just turned it off. Okay. It messes up with my sound. Hey, we don't have a show today. This is a zoo, man. Okay. So anyways, Nancy wanted me to share this first. So Nancy, do you want them to go on YouTube and put their answer in or in the comments?
I want them to do it in the chat room. Okay, so let's go with this. This is a poll that Kenny did this week, and it says, "What is the first stage in Kenny Troiano's brood fowl selection process?" So we're going to go with A, B, C, or D, even though it's not named like that. But I want you guys to tell me in the chat which one you choose, and you can only choose one: A, B, C, or D. Go.
And then we'll discuss it later. Okay. So I do have some announcements before we get going. Is we have for the next 2 months, our Fridays are going to be a little tied up. So we're going to have to move the show to Tuesday. And we won't have one this coming Tuesday. It's going to be too soon. And we also have something going on that Tuesday. But we'll do it the following Tuesday, and then we'll do it every Tuesday after that. And I believe Peter Brown is slated for that particular day. I've got Dr. Gallardo coming on. I've got Brian Reeder coming on, Peter Brown. So we're going to have a number of guests, and some of them are going to come multiple times. Okay. And we're also going to move it to 5 o'clock for Tuesdays. And that's just for a couple months. And then at the end of October, we'll go back to Friday at 6 o'clock. And so it'll be a little different, but our Friday is going to be tied up quite a bit. So we're going to move it to Tuesday. Make sure you check out, we did a show a couple of days ago with Dr. Gallardo on AI and biosecurity. Really good. He probably explained it the best I've heard it explained in a long time. So make sure to check that out. And then our Monday podcast coming up is going to be the edited, cleaned up version of the molting mistakes that we did. I think it was last week. So, and then what else? Okay. Nancy, is anybody responding to that? Because,
yep.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What are we getting?
All over the board.
all over the board. You know,
All
and
over
I
the
thought,
board, yes.
okay, and in some ways, it may not be the way I start it, but they're all good answers because they're all things you want to do when you're doing your selection. So I'm not going to try to downgrade any of them, but what we're going to talk about today is going to be the selection of your brood fowl, going through your birds, figuring out who's going to be put in the brood pen so that you can advance your strain. And the answer, as far as my criteria and what we're going to talk about, is actually evaluating the genetic purity and type of the breed or breed type. And we'll talk about why that's important. But I just thought this was such a great poll because it was all over the board, because every poll I've done up to this point, it was in some ways, especially when it came to my members and people who listen to our show on a regular basis, it was obvious to them and they just clicked it. And it was only a small handful of people that was clicking something other than that, than the one that was the right answer. But this one, not that it was only 5%. I don't care about that, but I liked that it was more even and got a wider range of answers, being that they were all good answers overall. What do you think, Frank?
Yeah, actually, you could take all the above, actually, and each person's going to be different. But this is how I look at it. As far as identifying and eliminate defect, I'm looking on that at the egg, okay?
Yeah.
From start up. So when I get up to my birds, as far as picking brood fowl, I've already weeded them down. I've culled them out for obvious reasons. And I know that bird pretty much inside and out. So by that time, I pretty well know I'm it. But now if you're going out and buying birds this way, this is something that you really want to understand even before you get your birds.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. You're always looking to, anytime you spot a defect or anytime you're picking up a bird or moving a bird, you're going to be looking that bird over for defects. And that's a good sign of a great breeder. Okay. So, but it is part of the criteria when you're going through the selection process. And I base my selection process on the way I judge birds. When I do a show and I'm the judge, the birds are already set up for you inside the drop pens. And as a judge, you're walking around, you're looking at them, and you're trying to get a mental vision, a mental, I can't think all of a sudden, an idea of what you got to work with and figure out which birds best represent their breed and show the biggest signs of purity of blood. So that when you go to pick them up, you kind of have an idea. Because I want to pick up every bird that's there. I want to give everybody a chance. I want them to show that I'm giving the effort, that I'm not just bypassing birds. So I'm going to pick up every bird. But I do have a mental idea of which ones have a chance of actually placing in the show. And so when I pick them up to actually evaluate them, then I'm going to check out the defect. I'm going to look for defects. I'm going to look for faults. And that's all done through the handling of the birds. But no, I mean, Frank's right. When I'm moving birds, picking up birds, I'm always looking for defects. I'll probably even be looking. I know you went out.
You guys are still okay?
I think. Are we okay, Frank?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're okay.
Here. Yep.
The whole computer went off.
The whole computer went off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ask Tony to help you get it back on. Okay. It looks like she's still there. So obviously when I'm putting birds and I'm setting up those drop pens and I'm getting ready for my selection process, I'm most likely looking at them as I'm putting them in there. I'm looking for those defects and I can eliminate those right away because the fewer birds I have to analyze or check out, the simpler my section is going to be, because you're always going to want to cull first, then select. Okay. So the process is only set up for me because that's the way I would do it when I'm judging a show. So that's how I kind of do it here, because I just kind of do it the same. Anyways.
Yeah, it's even in that aspect there, like judging those shows, and I'm sure you've run into this before, Kenny. You see a couple birds that's just spot on as far as the conformation of body, but when you go to pick them up, then you notice they've got a crooked breastbone, they're hatchet breast. You know, there's other things involved in that. But I've been heartbroken over that. See a bird that just was so great as far as his type and conformation, but when I picked him up, it was just like, oh wow,
yeah.
You know, it's so bad that happens, but it does.
If you're going to judge them on the ground all the time, you're missing a lot. Okay. But if you're just going to pick them up and judge them, then you're also missing a lot. You need to look at them on the ground. You need to pick them up and check them out. And you need to put them back on the ground to check them again. Just so before we get started, we're going to be doing a a round table today because also this is going to be Frank's last show for a couple months too. He's not going to be able to move with us over to Tuesday. His schedule just won't allow it. So we're going to, if you, how can I say it? While he's here, take advantage of the fact he's here when you want to ask questions, and for the members inside the round table, take advantage of the fact he's going to be in there because we're going to miss him, but hopefully he's going to join us right back on November when we get back on track.
Yeah. And plus it gives me a little bit more time. I've been hurting for time here recently. And I was telling Kenny to give me a little bit more time for me to focus on my classes and get some of that knocked out of the way too. It's going to be hard when I get back because the last time we took a break like that, it took 3 or 4 shows before I could even get back in it again. Felt like I was starting all over again. So
it is tough. It's like when you take a couple weeks off, you get out of the groove and it just feels weird. And I don't know why. We both talked about it. So it takes a week or 2 to get back into the groove till you feel normal again. I don't know. It's like out of sight, out of mind. And then you're back on the saddle. But when you do it every week, like we kind of do it, it seems like we're doing it twice a week, Nancy and I, because we do other things too. So it's easier. But I didn't want to take a huge break this year. We usually do. So we'll keep on going. We might take a day off here and there. So it won't be every week. But I did line up some guests, and I think it's going to be a good 2 months overall. I want to welcome all the new members that joined us. I really appreciate you guys for coming into the website and learning. If you want to become a member and join the Breeders' Academy, just go to www.breedersacademy.com. Once you join, you're going to have instant access to the website, which is going to give you access to the Founders Program, Masters Class videos, Members Roundtable videos, and the programs and courses. You're also going to get a complete collection of all the videos we've done and the podcasts. And then you have the daily articles, and you'll have expert advice. Is she back?
Yeah, man, they did change this, didn't they?
Yeah,
it won't let me add her, Kenny. You'll have to do it.
Really?
Yeah,
I can't even do it. She's not there yet. That's why.
Oh, well, it beeped up and said add her, but it wouldn't. I was clicking on it and it wouldn't let me add her.
Oh, really? I don't even see her there.
Yeah, there it is.
There she is.
There we go.
And she's still a ghost in the machine. I don't know if she can hear us. Can you hear us?
Yep.
Move, Nancy.
Nope, she's gone again.
She's back out again.
No, she's there.
No, she's still there. She just went back down again.
Is.
Oh, there we go. Is it glitching like it was?
Okay, somebody pull me up on stage. There I am.
Oh, she's delayed.
Yeah,
she's delayed big time.
Yeah, big. Yeah.
If she's delayed, that's not going to work. What a crazy show, huh?
Yeah, that's it's almost like it's the computer rather than the internet.
It is. You want to know why? If you guys can hear me, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me? Okay. Okay, this is it, guys. This is it. The reason why my computer shut off is because my lovely husband didn't plug the computer in.
The battery.
And it has to be plugged in for it to work.
That may be a bad that might have been the biggest reason it wasn't working like it should.
You've been ratted out.
I don't know.
All right, so who won? Because the last time I looked, Joshua had the right answer.
I don't know. Check it. Let's check because I didn't think of it like that. You tell me who all won.
Let's see what we got here. See a
go scroll back.
Sue won. No. Sue got B. Sue put B in.
Sue put B. Brent James put B.
No, watch all the D show up.
Brian Cobb, Beeman. Thanks, Beeman. I read your message there. Thanks, buddy.
I'm clicking on it and I can't get any of the chat to pull up on screen.
Wow.
Everything about her is delayed. That is so weird.
That is crazy. Somebody said we was all glitching, but I'm not seeing it between me and Kenny, just Nancy is the only way I'm seeing it.
Oh man, maybe we should turn this into a Q&A. This is awful.
This is crazy.
This is crazy. This is one of those shows I may just throw away.
Yeah, Beeman said at 9:07 everyone is glitching, but
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's a
saying-
mess.
I'm not.
This is a
saying it.
mess.
It's
This
a
is a
mess.
real.
It's
Yeah.
hard to make a podcast out of a glitchy video.
Hey Nancy, can you hear me? Come in here.
Si, senor.
It
Okay.
is very delayed.
Frank, why don't you let me go out and you can talk to everybody while I get us all set up.
All right.
Whatever you want to do. Give me a minute.
All right. I guess everybody can chill out, take a nap before they get back. They're bad on doing me this way, leaving me by myself. All right. Well, I see. Let's do this. While we're waiting, let's do this. What is the most important nutrient to our fowl? So put it in the comments what you think is the most needed nutrient for our birds. What is the most valuable nutrient? And this is a tricky one. Think about it, guys. It's not something that once you learn the answer to it, you're like, daggone it, I should have got that. Just don't overthink it. I see Kenny in the back, but they're just they've not come on yet. But they're hold on a minute, they may be coming in. Whoop, we got a winner, guys. Joshua Madden, he got it. Water. Water is the most valuable nutrient. He got it. That was thinking outside the box, Joshua. Thanks, Sue. It's going to be different. I'm not taking that much time off from the show in a long, long time. I'm going to miss all you guys as well. It's going to be different, but it gives me a little bit more time to get some classes done and get some work. We're in the middle of maybe going to remodel our place here in the next little bit, so that'll hit me out a lot. Nancy said, hang in there. We are working on it as we speak. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that. Like I said, it's going to be different. I'm going to miss you guys. It's Fridays for me is the show. So, and I probably missed more this year than I missed since we've been doing it with the weather and just things in general. There was a little lady, she's 90 years old, that lives down the street from us. And a lady was backing out of her driveway. And I don't know if she ran over, bumped her or what, but at 90 years old, just a fall is going to be really bad. So you guys that believe in prayer, just say a little prayer for her this evening. I'm sure she would greatly appreciate it. But she's a sweet lady. She's everybody's grandmother that's on the street, and she lost her husband a while back. So just
You need to get closer.
keep her in your prayers if you would.
We're sharing the same mic.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I couldn't figure. I have to redo the box.
Well, you got half of me.
Can you hear us both?
Yep. Hear you good?
Okay, not too low because it's a little away from us a little bit.
Yeah, I was telling them about the little my
Little lady.
little lady friend that got had an accident this evening. So
Oh yeah. Okay. So, what do we talk about? Because I'm not sure we should even. We've already went through half the show, and
well, we're 25 minutes in, so
yeah.
oh, we've still got some time. We've got
Okay.
a little bit of time.
Okay.
Not as much as we normally do, but we do have some time.
Maybe we'll just kind of do this one, and we'll redo it some other day because it's a good one. I think it's important to understand not only that you have to select your brood fowl properly, but having a method to it, having a certain system about it. It's a lot easier. And I remember in the poll, somebody was saying that it could be all of the above, and that each one of them is important and everything. And they are, and they can be interchangeable, I guess, in some ways. But you do have to do all of them, I guess you'd want to say. So I'm so flustered with everything. I'm not sure where I want to go with this because I don't even know if I want to use the okay, here, let's go here. So these are the obvious. This is not how I wanted to do this at all. So why does selection matter? Obviously, because we want the best birds. We want to make sure that we're passing the best genes to the offspring, and that we're generation by generation making them better. We want to make sure the best, not only that we're using the best birds, but the best traits are being passed. And that's the whole process of it, and the whole reason for it. What are you doing?
I'm looking at the chat because you're not scrolling the chat down, so I can't see what the new stuff is coming up. So I have to do it on my phone because I don't want to bother you, because then you get flustered because you get interrupted.
You're telling all our secrets.
I am. So I'm trying to be a good girl because I'm sitting next to you. So there you go.
Okay.
Okay, but real quick, fill me in on what I missed here. All right.
Well, you came in.
We never got started. We never got started.
No, we never really got started. You were in,
No.
and you were like a ghost. It's like you were talking over us, and then everything was delayed. Everything about you was delayed. Even StreamYard. That is so weird.
I know.
Take two.
Is this how you wanted to do your last show, Frank?
I leave it to me, buddy. I can mess it up for sure. That's for sure.
Okay, so we talked about this being Frank's last show for a little while. He's going on hiatus, right? Okay, you talked about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got that.
You talked about the show we did with Dr. Gallardo on Monday.
Yeah.
Members go in the back and check it out, right?
No, that's right now. It's on the front end. But I do want to say this real quick. Is, like I said, we're going to have Dr. Gallardo on more. He's planning on coming at least once a month, so we're going to have him at least twice before November. There's a couple really good topics you guys want to pay attention to, because some of them, they're not usually common, and you don't see it in the commercial industry, but a lot of people are running into it, and that is infectious leukosis. I'm running into more and more people that are seeing the effects of infectious leukosis. So he's going to cover that. And then Peter Brown has a couple of things he wants to cover too. So he'll be on a couple of times. I talked with him.
That's a terrible disease.
Leukosis? Oh yeah. It like resembles Merrick's,
Yes.
But worse. It's when they're older,
Yeah. We'll put it this way. It's if you want something to destroy your breeding program and your birds, that's one right there that will do it. That's a start over for that.
Yeah. And it wasn't like the first choice he wanted to do, because it's not something the commercial industry deals with. They pretty much eradicated it in the commercial industry. So it's not one he's like super familiar with, but he's willing to cover it. And he's going to do a lot better job than we would by ourselves. So that's what I'm hoping for. And so that'll be interesting, because Merrick's attacks the birds when they're chicks, when they're young, where leukosis attacks them when they're older. And it's very infectious. Yeah, it could depopulate your whole yard if then this is why biosecurity is so important. But what I wanted to say, those two are on the show quite a bit. We've done a lot of episodes with both Dr. Gallardo and Peter Brown. And if you go on, let's see, I think if you go on the website, on the left-hand side, you're going to see a tab, healthcare page. And there's I can't tell you how many videos and programs we have that Peter Brown and Dr. Gallardo contributed to. It's a pretty big page, and it covers, I would say, at this point, all the common diseases, Nancy. So
yes,
yeah. So make sure you guys check that out. And I only keep the YouTube videos, the live shows that we do on YouTube for a very short period of time, and then eventually I archive them all onto the website. So I only keep so many there. And it's like we do a live show and I take one off. I do another live show, I take one off, that kind of thing. Same thing with the videos that we do. The podcast for Monday, I'm putting them back on YouTube, but even those are only going to be on there for a short period of time. Everything else is on the website. Yeah. What else we got?
Okay, Monday's podcast coming up. What's the subject matter?
Yeah, we talked about that. It's going to be the molting mistakes that we covered, I think, a week ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah, but that's all been edited, cleaned up, and we made that really nice. That would be a better one for them to listen to. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I had.
That's all you got?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can go. You're done.
Get that.
We don't need you anymore. You're done.
God, I feel so loved.
So, Frank, the first thing you want to check when you're doing your assessment is health and vigor.
You can't go anywhere without it. If you don't have that, let me rephrase that. As far as health and vigor, in a have-to case, is it possible to get out of that scenario? Yes, it is. But are you willing to do what it takes to get there? That's the question I have for a lot of the breeders. But if you can start out with health and vigor, that's the way to go, to start out with it. That way you don't have to go down that road of hardships and having to do the unwanted things that you don't want to do.
Well, we talked about it a minute ago. It's like the defects. We're going to be getting rid of the birds that have defects as we see them, And I'm hoping you guys are going to do the same thing when it comes to health and vigor, that you're not going to be medicating them. I'm hoping that you're not going to spend a lot of time vaccinating, medicating them, that you're going to select for health, not use, like Frank says, synthetic chemicals to make that happen. If you think you're going to make vaccinations, medications, supplements, and all that, turn your birds into turn the birds into something than what they already are, you're going to find that's a big mistake. You need to select your way to good health. You need to select your way to a proper conformation, proper type, that kind of thing. So,
yeah. If you give me birds that had everything, but they were sick of prone to many type genetic diseases, or just diseases alone, viruses or whatever, bacteria or whatever it might be, and you give me birds that are super healthy, but they don't have quite the type or the conformation they're supposed to have, give me those healthy birds. I can do something with those birds there. The other way, you can do something with them, but my God, how long is it going to take you to get there is the question.
Yeah, we say it all the time. You can't create a strain from birds that aren't healthy and vigorous. Yeah. It's just impossible, And the medications and the supplements just hide who they really are. I want to see who they really are, because that's what I'm going to select for. If I've got a handful of birds and I'm medicating some of them and they seem a little better than the others, well, that may not be true. Stop the medication. You'll find out what you really have, So if you're always going through your bird, you're always checking them out, you're culling the defects, you're culling the sick birds. So when you go to actually start selecting birds for the brood pen and you start putting them in your drop pens, then hopefully you're not going to deal with that. And that's going to make the selection process a whole lot easier when you're not having to also deal, because you could pick up a bird that's like, okay, well, this one looks like it's true to type. It represents its breed. I'm seeing signs of purity of blood, and I pick him up, and guess what, Frank? I look him in the eye, and he has a sunken eye or something, or he has a crooked breastbone. That just makes you go, oh, God, you're the number of birds you have to select from just went right into the ground. So
yeah, or you see that tail relax and go to one one side or the other constantly,
yeah.
And a lot of times I think here's the aspect of the whole thing. I've let some of those things get by me before, and I would sit and watch those birds day after day, and really focus in on them. And unless you open your mind up to those defects, you can be looking right at them, right square in the face, and not even realize that it's a defect. So I've been there, done that. It's easily done.
And that's a scary thought, isn't it? For
It
those
is.
who don't even know the defects are there and they're actually breeding to it. Mm-hmm. And we have, just on the banner alone, we have 88 defects. And I can guarantee most people don't know what most of them are. And then we have programs and courses on the website that will help you identify the defect, show you what the genetic factor of that defect is, and then how to improve a strain that has defects and what to do about it. So yeah, if anything, if you join the Breeders' Academy just to check out what those defects are, it's worth the $50 for that month anyways,
just for the defects,
just for the defects alone.
It is,
because those defects, if you don't know they're there, are going to catch up to you, because all you have to do is have two birds that are expressing the same defect, and then all the offspring have the same defect.
Well, really, too, Kenny, it may not even be one of them may not even be expressing that defect, but still can pass it on to the offspring itself. Just when you're breeding close is what I'm meaning. But when you're breeding close that way, you're not only intensifying and making traits more prevalent, you're doing the same thing to the defects and the bad part of the bird too. You're magnifying the bad with the good.
Yeah, and that can sneak up on you pretty quickly. It's like two birds that carry the defect but not express it. Okay,
right.
That happens a lot. And there's not much you can do about that. But when you bring them together, you're going to start seeing signs of it in the offspring, and it's not going to be all of them. It's going to be some of them, a handful of them. And you can actually do this on a Punnett square, where you say, okay, now I see offspring that have the defect, but the parents, bless you. This just goes with the show, man. This is.
It's just one of those.
Perfect.
It's so dusty in here. My God, do you ever dust your room?
Yeah. I thought I had a wife for this shit, Okay, where was I? Okay, so if you look, let's say I start seeing signs of, I don't even know where I was now, of a defect. Okay, let's say I have one of the parents shows the defect and one doesn't. Well, I can run that on a Punnett square, the different scenarios that either one doesn't have it and doesn't even have it in the genome where one's expressing it, or one isn't showing it but carries it and the other one expresses it. Or I could buy two birds from someone and they say, watch out for duck toe. So then I can run the scenario on a Punnett square that would give me an idea what I'm going to get. And I'll show you really quickly what the percentages are and the probabilities of getting that defect. It's also scary because you can see it building up. You can see it start, the number of birds that are actually capable of getting that defect rises by the different scenarios. Like from a bird that doesn't carry, two birds that don't carry it, you're going to get a certain percentage of it. It's like, what is it, 25%, I think it is. Okay, to two birds or one bird that carries it to one bird that does it, then it goes up to, I think it's still 25%. And then you've got two birds. I don't want, this is going to take too long. But anyways, the Punnett square will give you the probabilities of how much the defect is going to show up. And your job is to cull that defect anytime it does show up. Don't mess with it. And as you go, generation after generation, you're going to see less of it. Now, Frank, it never goes away. It's always going to be hidden in the genome, though.
It's laying in there a lot of times dormant. Now, that's if you're selecting away from it. It's going to still be there, but it's just going to be way back in the back to where it's not as noticeable. Will you still get a few over the years? Yes. But like Kenny said, the main thing is to address it, put it to the side, do away with it, never to be brought back. But a lot of people will take a chance. They'll do that. They work their butts off, say 4 or 5 years, selecting against a defect, and then they run up on this wonderful bird, this everything that they want, and it's got that one defect, and they think they can get by with it by breeding that bird. And I've done it, guys. I had to be taught a lesson, and on this one I was, and it was dealing with right tail. So that one right there actually showed me you get what you tolerate in your breeding program, and if you add something less inferior, you're going to get it sooner or later.
And I'm proof that I've had just about every defect that we list on the website. I've had most of them. Okay, in my Maximus line, and I have proof that by calling out any defect that shows up, being diligent about it, never breeding to a bird that has a defect, you can get to a point where they are hidden. And where I see the recessives that are in my line or the defects that are in my line is when I breed my birds to someone else's birds. It's like when I was creating the Sangreal line or when I was creating the Black Pearls, that's when I saw all the junk that was hiding in my birds coming out. You know what I mean? And so not only was I trying to create those two lines, but I was having to go back and get rid of all those defects and recessives that I didn't like that was in the Maximus in the first place. So that kind of stuff, well, so it's part of the process. There's not much you can do about it, but that kind of thing will definitely slow you down, you know. So we go back to, that's why it's it's best to start with the best Adam and Eve as possible, so you don't even have to deal with those things.
Genetics and breeding is not all what it seems as far as common sense. I took a acquaintance. He had a good strain. I had a good strain, and was like, well, we put them together and see what we get. We put them together, expecting, just to be the next best thing since sliced bread, and they was totally opposite. They were huge. The hybrid vigor came in a form of just being big. Everything about those birds that was negative brought out all the bad and none of the good. I mean, as soon as I hatched them, I was looking at them and I was telling him, I said, I just don't like these birds. There's something about them I don't like. And the more slow maturing, it took them forever to mature. Anything that you don't want in your fowl was that. So we ended up culling the whole aspect because, and I've done this before over the years. Just because one strain's good, another strain's good, and you put them together, don't hope for they're going to be even better. It doesn't work out that way. It can also work out to be the opposite.
Yeah. Spazgetti asked a really good question. Can't you do a test mating to weed out the defects? You can't use a test mating to weed them out exactly. What the test mating does is expose them. Mm-hmm. It shows you what's in there. Test mating is important at every level of your breeding program. Some of the methods inside the Founders program, some of those methods are basically test mating. I mean, you're testing them as you're doing them. You know what I mean? And how you move forward is determined by that particular test. And so we always say, I mean, I'm saying this more and more, Frank, is when you get your Adam and Eve, it's a really good idea, if possible, to get a number of Adams and a number of Eve to start with, so that if one of them doesn't pan out or two of them don't pan out, then you can move forward with them, but never move forward with all of them. Let's say if I buy 3 pairs or 3 trios and only one pair pan out. Well, that's good. That's telling me what I need to do. I want to get rid of the rest. But let's say a lot of them are pretty close and they're fairly good overall, then you're going to be tempted to move forward with all of them and just create lines from that. And you don't want to do that, because if you think about it and you're honest with yourself, one of those lines is better than the other. And that's the one you want to move forward with. But every mating you do can be considered a test mating. And although I think that's a great question from Spazgetti, I just think it's backwards. It's the other way around.
Yeah. And two, and it goes like this, if you're mating 2 unrelated birds, a lot of times you're not going to see what you need to see. You would have to mate, related birds together to actually see the true defects that you wanted to see within the family, for if you were doing it for that. But more likely, if you've done birds that wasn't related, the hybrid vigor is going to cover a lot of that up. It's going to mask it.
What? Can I say something? Okay. Can you select?
We blew this thing already. Professionalism just went right out the window.
You know what's really good about this show, actually? is I can give him the evil stare, and I can get in the show. You know, they both part of the waves, and I can say something. When I'm out there, I'm like,
You can give the nudge this way.
Hey, I can ignore you just as good in here as I do out there. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know, Kitty.
I can kick you underneath the table.
Yeah.
You forget I'm right here. I can.
You're in reach.
The head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
totally
dangerous.
All right. So before I forget my question here, can you select to stop the gene flow? And if so, how long does that take?
Okay. You're understanding gene flow wrong. Okay. Gene flow is not selecting away from it. It's just stopping it. Okay. Whenever you're outcrossing, crossbreeding, or infusion, you're practicing gene flow. Okay. All you need to do is just stop bringing new blood, and you stop the flow of genes.
That's right.
So you're thinking of it just a little wrong.
Okay. So if that is that, then how do you get it? How many years, or probably you're not going to answer this. I know you're not. How long does it take to get those genes hidden enough to where you're not having to deal with it every season?
It depends on the quality of the birds you're working with and how. Okay. And we're talking about, and here's where the variability comes in, because now we're talking about the mother and the father and what they're carrying. And they could be carrying the same recessives, or they can be carrying different recessives. And the quality of the fowl would determine how fast they improve and advance, and how fast you're going to be able to get those traits to be hidden. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just depending on how bad the gene pool is contaminated with defects.
That's right.
Basically.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. See, Frank said it in one succinct.
I should ask you, Frank. What the hell am I doing with him? My God. Okay, go ahead.
I want to go now.
I still love you, honey. All right.
Well, Kenny,
sure, that's a good thing or bad thing.
Look at it this way. We only got less than 15 minutes, about 13, 14 minutes. So we've just about got it over with.
Any questions?
Are you watching for questions? Because I'm looking for the funny stuff on my end here.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, we got Cross Creek in the house.
Beeman, he said this about Rytail, but he could actually do it for the show, too.
Yep.
It's a nightmare.
It is.
No, it's not. It's fun.
It is a nightmare because there's no way to fix it. You can't select away from it. It's one of those things that will catch up. The problem with Rytail, Frank, is there's so many things can cause Rytail. It's never the one. You never know which one it is. It could be environment. It can be a bad habit, like they had a bad roost and the tail kept going over, and so then they start forcing it over. It could be disease. It could be genetic. There's so many things that could cause Rytail, and it can be hidden within. It can be hidden within the bird. So you can have a bird that's barely showing it. The other bird's hiding it. You bring them together, and all of a sudden you got Rytail like you wouldn't believe. And I've seen it so many times. The one on people's farms, and I can think of one in particular where every bird had Rytail. And Frank, it wasn't just a little bit; they were laying over. And I can't believe they were okay with that. Yeah, they should have been getting rid of. They didn't think it was a big deal.
Yeah, and probably didn't even notice that. Know actually that it was a defect. It's just just a bird, just the way he's built. A lot of times, or the wind's blowing, he's got Rytail. Yeah. But this is me. With the experience I've had over the years with defects in chickens and breeding gamefowl, I see Rytail. My feet's going to outrun my body. I'm going to tell you that. I'm getting rid of that sucker as soon as I see it. I don't care what it is, what it's in, whatever. Kill it, get rid of it, get it as far away from you as you can. Do not breed that bird. I don't care what kind of bird it is. Get rid of it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Frank, I'm going to miss you. If I paid you more, could you make it on Tuesday? Maybe I don't pay him enough.
I mean, sincerely, and I say that jokingly, but I really mean it. It's one of the ones out there. I mean, a lot of our defects can be, say for squirrel tail. Okay, we can get out of that. we can get out of that. But with rye-tail, I don't want any part of it. I'll get out of chickens before I have to deal with that.
Yeah. Okay. So Brian says it's a new version of Viagra.
Boy, you're really going there tonight.
Oh my God, man. I'm telling you, professionalism just went right out the window here.
It's
What's
totally
that?
out the window because I'm not on that side of you and you don't even have the banner.
I just noticed that. Where have you been?
I can't get to the controls. It's on the other side of him.
Now we're
And God forbid if I reach over him to get to the other side.
You might get snapped just like you did.
Oh, we got to include Nancy. I forgot about that one. Okay.
Include me in what?
The banner. I had see, I had that one. Didn't want to feel left out. I might get smacked.
I don't care about
Okay.
But one thing I want to say about that though, Kenny, as far as selection, and I'm sure you've run into this. I'm sure a lot of us has run into this problem. The hardest thing is not. It's easy to get rid of the bad stuff. That's evident bad. That's defect. The problem I have is the last strain that I made from two families that I had, and I put them together and run them through the Founders Program and made my own family out of them. The hardest problem that I had picking the ones I was going to start out with, I had 6 roosters and about 6 hens, and I could not pick between them.
That's
it was
a good
like
problem to have.
Any, mini, miny, mo. I mean, that was the hardest part for me is picking when you've got them looking that good. Is picking the ones that you really need because they're so much alike. It's hard to pick just a pair and go with it. But I'm like you. What I done was I put them all together. Separated them out. I bred them. I found out my better producers, and I went with those. It took me a little bit longer, but it made me be able to sleep at night wondering, did I pick the wrong ones?
That's a good sign that you put them through the cleanup process properly. Maybe start it even with the best Adam and Eve possible. When you have a problem, when you get to the point, especially in the foundation stage is where it usually happens, and you can't determine which one's the best bird to move forward with, man, that is a really good problem to have. Actually,
it is, but it can be frustrating all at the same time. You're so afraid of doing it, and I know it's extra time. I know it's a lot of work. It's another 2 years, for their offspring to mature, to test them and everything. But it's so worth it. It's so worth it to do it that way. Just to any, mini, miny, mo and do it that way and take a chance on it. Yeah, can it be done with good birds? You're still going to get some good offspring. Even if you pick the wrong ones. But I want to get the maximum. It's going to take my family forward.
I'll say this. If you're in the foundation stage, like we do in the Founders Program, and you have that problem, then there's not a lot to worry about because they're all related. Yeah. Okay? So they all come from the same parents. They all come from the same relatives. And so just saying, okay, I'm just going to pick this one. This is the one I want to move forward with. You don't even really have to test mate them all. You're probably going to do well. But if you're looking at birds that are unrelated, or let's say in the beginning of the program when there's a lot of variability, a lot of genetic diversity, then your guess could be wrong. And that's when the test mating can come into play, or you're going to have to look back into their ancestors and say, okay, how's the bloodline going? And is it better in this direction or is it better into this direction? And that'll help you determine which birds you want to move forward with. Or you just do the test mating and see what they produce. But then not everybody can produce that many offspring and breed that many birds right off the bat. So there's some obstacles, some challenges, but to me, overall, that would be a good challenge to have, actually. So
yeah. I have to say, even though it was aggravating, it was. I'd rather be in that situation than not being able to get one to go forward with.
Yeah, I would too. Now, here's another one, Frank, is. Like I said, I like to take all my drop pens and line them all up, get all my potential birds and put them in the drop pens and check them out. A lot of people don't do that. What they do is they go and they pick up a bird from this side of the yard, pick it up, and they go, oh, yeah, this looks pretty good. And then they go on the other side of the yard, pick up that one, and say, oh, yeah, okay, this one looks pretty good. And they're not – the whole idea of this process is to compare them, to put them side by side, so that you can evaluate them. Because like you were saying, if I have so many birds and they're all pretty close, I'm not going to be able to see the difference. if they're in different parts of the yard and I'm picking them up simultaneously or picking them up at different times. But if I put them all there, and I would willing to bet, and I know what you say, sometimes it's really hard because they all look the same, but if they're side by side, I would say most of the time you're going to see a difference between them, and you're going to be able to pick the one that's the best because they're as good as they are, and how hard how hard is to pick the best one. They are all a little bit different, and one's going to be better than the other most of the time.
They have to be. That's how we can keep improving them and going forward. And now it may not be by a lot, but just a little bit in those parts going, if they're just a little bit better. I mean, just a little bit, they're still better. That's just how it is. That's how we keep making them better and better and better as we go.
And we like to call those standouts.
Yep.
You know, because you might have a whole bunch of chicks that you produce from your bloodline. And the idea is to get them down to the top 10%. And everybody thinks that's where that stops. They think, okay, I have 100 chicks. I produce 10 really good chickens. But you want to do better than that. You want to actually tighten up even more and say, okay, I want to pick the standouts. Out of these 10, I want to pick the standouts, and that's what I'm going to move forward with. So that's the way we look at it.
Yeah, the thing about it is, just because Kenny's so right, you said you was talking about a while back as far as a bird, how much difference do they have to be better? Okay, I think somebody asked that question. Well, not enough. If it's a noticeable amount of difference, then they're better. It's even come down to this, Kenny. And a lot of people's going to think I'm a nut job by saying this. I've even take the birds that's picking them, the hens and the roosters, pick them up, and I would take a tape line, spread their wings out. I wanted to know the measurements on each bird's wing. And I did. I have some that was shorter, some that was longer. That's also a selection process. I've seen so many birds that look good in the pen, but their wings were so small they couldn't pick the body up like it needed to be. And I think a lot of times little things like that can be overlooked that can really hurt you down the line.
It could be anything. It could be the kill bone.
Mm-hmm.
It could be not only the straightness and the deepness of the kill bone, but how far the kill bone goes all the way to the vent. It could be, I'm trying to think of things that you wouldn't normally think of. The strength and length of the neck. Things you don't see unless you pick them up and look at them really close sometimes is an irregular pupil or sunken eye. Okay.
Yep.
Sometimes they don't really show it, but when you pick them up and you start moving them around certain ways, the tail should react a certain way. I mean, when I think I might have done it on that video when I was at Frank's house, we did a conformation video on the hen. I think we might have done one on the cock too.
Yeah.
And I think it was there where I was showing if you tilt the bird a certain way, the tail needs to react a certain way. And if it's not, then that's a bad sign. I should be able to pull that wing out and let it go, and it should snap back. You know, if it doesn't, I need to determine why that's not happening. And it could be various reasons, and I might give it a chance. I might set it down, wait till it's nice and active, pick it up right away and do it again. But if he never snaps that wing back and just drops it, that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Okay. So it could be a lot of different things that you're not going to be able to tell by just walking around looking at birds. You gotta put them in an environment that they're not used to. You need to pick them up and check them out. You need to put them back and see how they react after you're done. And you have to know the bird inside and out. You need to know the defects exist. You need to know all the traits you should be looking for, because it's not just simple conformation or simple type. There's a lot of details about the bird that helps represent its breed, that if you miss just a little bit of it and you're not careful about it, over time you could get to a point when you exaggerate it in the wrong direction, and all of a sudden you're like, what happened to my fowl? You know, where'd this come from? Well, it was maybe always there. You just didn't know it, and you just exaggerated as you went.
I've had, and I see this quite a few times on social media. I'll be going through and I'll see a real nice bird, and it'd be a video, and I'll be watching it and admiring the bird. And some of them's been, I mean, really, really nice. It really caught my eye, and I'd stop. And he would reach down in the litter and be scratching and putting his head down, and you'd see the big Campbell hump on his back. He wouldn't have that nice flat back. He'd have that big, you know, like a camel, hump back.
Hump-
You know, and a
hunchback,
lot of people overlook that. And is that a problem? Breeding close in a family? Yes, it is. The structure of the skeleton itself. You're going to have a bunch of birds running around, penned and free ranging with that big hump on their back.
And a lot of times you don't see it right away because the feathers are kind of hiding it at first. You need to get that bird in your hand, spread those wings apart, put your hand over the back. That back should be broad, flat, and tapering nicely to the tail, and it should be flat. If it's not, if you can't run your hand across that back and it's not flat, then that's a, and sometimes it could be so subtle at first. When you start breeding, and that's a polygenic trait. So as you start breeding them, and you're breeding to the hen and cock that have it, and then you start looking for other traits and you're blind to the actual humpback, over time that humpback gets bigger to the point where you're like, oh shoot, what's that? Or you're so blind to it, you're looking at other parts of the bird. It's not until someone comes on your yard and tells you about it. That's the worst part. That's the worst time, you know? So,
and that hurts.
Yeah,
when somebody comes to your yard and points something out that you've been feeding that bird every day of his life, say for 2 years, and you didn't notice that on the bird. It's sort of like, that's the way the defects do. It basically, you're not even looking for it. But once you get them down to where you know what they look like, and Kenny's got them listed, but he's also got pictures of what it actually looks like. So, but once you get that in your mind, it's like the feeling that you get when you raise your foot up and you look down and there's a snake under your foot. You know, you go to people's yard, you can't help but notice it. It's
crap.
bad. Yeah, you're like, oh, there's one. That one's got it. This one's got it. And then you can't unsee it. We call it a curse of knowledge. And it's just that. You may not want to see it, but your brain is telling you, hey, that bird's got this defect, it's got that defect. You can't unsee it once it happens.
Yeah. You got some questions?
I have one question, and we're at an hour, so this will be the last question we have. Although you have 7 comments up there that you haven't even seen yet.
17.
So, 17 comments up there. All right, so I bought a day-old Rhode Island Red chick, and right now the rooster that I chose that checked most boxes is starting to hold his tail to the side. So
run.
I'm finished.
Yeah, you might want to find another rooster. Don't go. And that's weird, Frank, because that tail is not very big.
Well, that's true. They don't have near the full tail as American game has, or a lot of birds have. But the thing about it is, I would say this, but never judge a bird adolescence, okay? But if even as a stag, now I've had stags that would have their tail over a little bit, but once they mowed it out and become cock, I'd never see it again. But I still wouldn't breed from that bird because I saw it when he was a stag.
How old was it? How old did she say it was?
He didn't say how old it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But even with that, I would be afraid that now maybe it was something that he just had to grow into. Maybe something like Kenny said, he could have got over in the corner of the roost and roosting wrong. You know, made his tail grow out like that and he quit doing it. I switched to cage. Could have been a number of different things. But once I see that, it's so bad. Just like me and Kenny was talking about, it is such a bad defect that as soon as I see it, I'm done with that bird, regardless of how that bird looks. I'm done with it.
Yeah. A lot of things can cause right tail, but I have to treat them all as genetic because here's the deal is, how do I want to say this? Other things may have caused it to happen, but most of those, it's genetics that allowed it to happen.
Exactly.
Okay. And a lot of defects are like that. You playing with me or something here?
No. Oh. I'm not even moving. You're the one who's moving all over the place. That's why I don't sit next to him when we have dinner out. It's like, you move too much. You're making
I thought you were the one moving, actually.
I'm not moving at all.
Okay.
Another earthquake.
Each other around here.
Another earthquake.
Okay. Anything else?
Wrestling fight. Yeah, one more. Sorry, guys, I lied. One more, and then we will let it go.
We'll fight our way through the back end. We'll
So
come back all bruised and bloody.
I have a black eye. I should go put some makeup on one of my
Okay, who won?
Okay. I did, of course. So let's say that you boil it down to the top 10 birds then pick the best of those, would you keep the other top 10 pairs?
That's a good question. That's one of the things we're going to cover here is the way I do things is I have my A birds, B birds, and C birds. Okay, so I pick the ones that are my standouts that I'm going to actually breed. Those are the ones I think are going to advance my strain. Those are my A birds. My B birds are my backups, and I always keep backups. I never want to just pick one and then get rid of everything else. And then C birds are the ones that I've culled through. That, I mean, they're pretty good birds. They're not my standouts. They don't have any defects. They're not sick. And I think I should be able, if I sell them, if I'm a seller, I should get good money for them. So my C birds are the birds I would probably sell. And if I lose an A bird, a B bird takes its place. If I lose a B bird, one of my C birds I may have at the time will take its place. So you have to determine which ones you're going to, how many of them you want to keep as a backup and willing to take the risk, and how many you want to go ahead and get rid of.
Yeah, but a backup is a have to.
Yep.
A lot of times you never need them, but just in case, that's a lot of work just to lose them to a predator or, Mother Nature in general.
Yeah. Okay. Is that it?
No.
Okay.
Well, Sue sent me via messenger 2 pictures of her birds with tails. I'm not sure why. So let me know, Sue. And where the heck did it go? This is hard. I'm used to being able to see the chat. What do you all think of hens with short keel bones?
What kind of hen? First of all,
that was what I was going to ask. It does make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Does it? Why?
Well, a laying hen, I want enough room for the egg to get out, I guess,
Oh.
But a game hen, no, that pubic bone should go all the way to the vent. The closer to the vent, the better. Because what happens is that keel bone protects her abdomen. That's an important trait in gamefowl type breeds.
And I have come across birds from other farms that did not even have a keel, or they'd have a quarter of a heel or half of a keel bone. But I have come across them that had no keel bone whatsoever. You could not feel no keel bone.
This long, and their keel bone's that short.
Yep.
Yep. Those aren't the best pictures, but I think I see something there. Okay. See how he's eating? Now what's happening is it looks like a Rhode Island Red, and he's eating. Now my tails tend to fall to the side too when they're eating. So don't get excited about that. I want to know how his tail looks as he's walking around doing his thing. And when you pick him up, if you flip him like forward, does the tail come to you? When you flip him back, does the tail go down? When you flip him on the side, does the tail go to opposite side and vice versa? I want to know, does he have control of that tail? And when you move around, does the tail just kind of flop all over the place? But when they're eating like that, that's pretty typical. That confuses a lot of people, Frank. That's a good one right there.
Kenny's right on that.
What's that, Frank?
Kenny's right on that part. They will get to a point to where they'll relax and the tail will go to one side or the other. It
just kind of falls aside as they're eating. Yeah,
it does. But what you want to do, as long as he's walking, he's in movement, he's around hens, that tail should be where it needs to be. It shouldn't be over either way. But if it's over to one side or the other, just a little bit, when he's in movement, you've got a problem.
And the biggest thing is pick him up, flip him around, and see how his tail reacts. And does he have control of that tail? That's the biggest test right there.
Rye-tailed birds, I've noticed you pick them up, they'll have good control over their tail until it comes to the side where it's leaning at, and they always have a problem, difficulty when it gets to that point, either to one side or the other. It doesn't rotate the way it should, even if it's a little bit.
Yeah. A genetic rye tail usually is that they just kind of lean to the side. A tail that's affected by gumberal disease or some kind of illness usually falls all the way over the side. Yeah. They just don't have any control of it whatsoever. They just totally lost control of it.
So much their wing constantly rides on it. If they raise their wings up to get on the roost, the actual wing comes down and stands on the actual tail, holding it down.
And that disease falls on not only just health and vigor, but resistance too.
Yes.
So, and we're back to genetics again, overall. Okay.
All right.
Is that it?
That's a wrap.
And Sean, too, put in the message there for Nancy. And that won't be a problem. I'll still be able to do it, even though I won't be on the show, Sean. So we can still have our conversation. So that won't be a problem, bud.
Yeah. So was that right? Did I tell him right to contact you inside the Breeders' Academy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. For the members who want coaching calls, you need to contact us inside the academy. That way we know you're members. If you try to contact us outside the academy, I don't have time to answer questions or anything outside the academy, really. So, and then a lot of times I don't know if I got so many members, I don't know who all the members are.
That's me. Kenny knows better than I do, but I have a lot of people hits me up on Messenger, and I have had people that pretended to be a member that was trying to set up a coaching call to come find out. I called Kenny. Kenny said they're not a member. So we just stopped doing it that way and just started doing it directly. That way, if they contact me inside the Breeders' Academy, I know for sure they're a member.
Yeah, that's the best way.
Sneaky.
Yeah, happens. Okay, so Frank, I know we're going to go in the back end and talk just a little bit more, but for everybody listening now, we are going to miss you. This was actually turned out to be a fun episode. It's good, like someone said, this is going to be a nightmare to edit.
Nancy's going to have fun with that.
Oh yeah.
Oh hey, I just edited the episode with Peter Brown, and you guys were talking about rats. That is a good episode. I can't wait for you guys to hear that one in the audio version, which will be coming out
in a couple weeks.
So
yeah, that was a good one.
That was a long one. That was almost 2 hours. So,
but she's already got it weighed down to 140.
Peter always has a good show. He's so knowledgeable on things like that. I think the guy knows something about. You asked him about anything. He's knowledgeable on anything. You can have a diverse conversation with Peter about just about anything you want.
He's very intelligent. He's well read.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
He knows his topic really well when it comes to chickens, and he's well read on other topics too. Absolutely. But I kind of listened to that one because I usually clean them up for Nancy, and there's a couple things I do before I send it to her, because that thing goes through, our audios go through 3 separate edits before they go out. And I was kind of listening to it, and there's so many funny moments in that thing between the 4 of us. It's a great episode, actually.
That was a good show. I remember. It's been a while back, but yeah, that was a good show.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
You want to say anything before we go?
I'm gonna kill myself for asking this question, but somebody.
No. We're ending the show.
All right, we're done.
They get us next week. We'll never end the show. Okay. See you guys later. Thanks a lot.
See you in the fall, guys.
See you inside.